The problem is Northwest. The same people, same culture, killing each other, stealing each other's cattle, burning their villages. As I said, we are going to treat them in the language they will understand. We have given the police and the military power to be ruthless.
Sometimes we get, and that's what's happening to people in the streets. That's where they're moving. That's why they're demonstrating. That's why they're defying even threats from the police, from the government. If you demonstrate, you're traitors. If you do this, we'll deal with you. We'll talk to you in language which you understand. It doesn't wash with anybody any longer. Because if the nation is on a suicide slide, the people who feel that they do not deserve that kind of suicidal plunge, they have a right to say, sorry.
Welcome everyone to Yorexit 2021, where we dissect the sense and nonsense of the self-agitation movements all over the country that's going on in Nigeria. We are coming to you live from the studios of Distinct Radio in Dallas, Texas. Here we ask the mighty questions and we challenge the powerful for, accountability, because we can do it. Today we'll be talking about suspending the 2023 elections. How is the campaign management going on? What are the people who are organizing this? What can they do better? So we'll be discussing and looking at these various issues in today's broadcast. Don't forget, you can call in your questions. You can put in your questions from the chat. We will be taking them as we go along in the program. Also there's a lot of reaction to the previous program that we looked at last week about the Mietiala, and so many things have happened in the past 1 week in the Nigerian system, which we will be reacting to, and so many things are happening, particularly from cultural leaders, from religious leaders, and many people in response to what Mietiala really wants, or where they really want you. What they really want about you, where they want you to believe and what's going on. The election strategy, we talked in depth about that last week. And, people are coming up, agitated and fired up. The responses we had from the people, it's unbelievable. We discussed this electoral map and we said, look at Osun State very well. Look at Lagos State very well. They are very, very instructive of what the strategy of Mietiala is for you and for everyone. But everyone needs to pay attention to this map. Carefully look at the numbers. Look at what's going on. Look at the demographics of the polling booths also, where you'll be voting, and see whether those figures tally and make things. That's why we told PDP something is ahead. Is it time to celebrate? Yes, it may be, based on what we have seen in recent times in the polity, but celebrate we must. There's a lot of things going on. Like that man looking at you and wondering how you are going to do it, how you're going to suspend the elections. What are you going to do? Yes, celebration, but it's time for questions. It wasn't just the people in the court. There are still dead bodies to be buried, given the last respect that they deserve. What's happening to the dead cats anyway? What's the DSS doing about it? And we are not even sure we have exactly 12 living people coming out of DSS gulag. You know, we need to ask questions. We expect you to share this broadcast. Let people know the kind of move that you made during the week was so impressive. Money coming from all sorts of directions into the various campaigns, but we still need to do more. You know, you need to register for the referendum and get others to register for the referendum. Get them to go to the NINA's web page and register for the referendum. Make your own posters. Everybody has a phone. You can search for Google on your phone, and it doesn't matter whether you're at home or you're in the diaspora. You have access to your phone, and you can search for the NINA's website. If you don't know that offhand, go and register. Encourage your people to register. And there's a reason we ask that. It is very important that you do that. You get your people registered today for what is coming. Yes, we are talking how to suspend the 2023 election. And we are going to be looking into detail very soon on why the date of August 15 is so important to the campaign. Okay? Why the date of August 15 is so important to the campaign. So all these and other things we'll be discussing right after this commercial break coming up. So we will, break it down, the way you've responded to the situation, what we expect to happen next, and how you can contribute to what is happening, both at home and here, particularly here in Dallas. If you are in the Dallas region, we expect you. There'll be a town hall coming up very soon, and we have congressmen and external forces, people that can lobby. The word we use in America is lobby, to help things happen in the American democracy. To help things happen, they're going to be here. They're going to be here, and we're going to be discussing. Please come out and support the voices. Come out and and call your legislators. Call your legislators to join in that campaign. We're going to.
Nigeria has become a union of death for the rest of us. The global powers have told Nigeria in very clear terms that guns should be kept out. Nigeria has become a union of death for the rest of us. The global powers have told Nigeria in very clear terms that guns should be kept out of the table of discussion, and a dialogue opened up with the owners of the sovereignty, with the people. Time is now to go discuss with the owners of the sovereignty that is now called Nigeria, and to work out constitutions that will work.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. Once again, I'm Noah Moluabi, from Dallas, Texas, and joining me on the program is Reverend Simon Olatunji. So we'll be, he's known on this program. He's a big voice in the movement for the Yoruba nation now. So we're going to be, and he's going to be helping us dissect what the campaign, how the campaign for actualization of the Yoruba nation is going on, and break it down for us along the way. But on this session, before we go ahead into details of the campaign management and stuff like that, like I said before, a lot of things has happened in the past 1 week in this self-determination campaign. Yesterday, we watched the video of the chief imam of Ilorin in the Onis Palace. There is an intersection there of the religion and the culture. And if you go to our website on Artus Concepts, you'll find links of so many other people who have moved. A lot of regular people on the street donated money extensively this week. And there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of action and activity from you guys on the street, which is very encouraging. So I'm going to ask Dr. Olatunji to help us, how has it been in the campaign, and what has your movement, in supporting the campaign for self-determination been like? Thank you, sir.
Well, gentlemen and ladies, it's my pleasure again to be back on this very populous program, growing program, your program, forward-looking program of Yorexit, anchored by our amiable and friend, Dr. Omoluabi. It gives me very great pleasure to be back here again this week, and thank you for the program so far. Talking on the journey so far, the agitation has been very forward-looking, and it gives me very great joy to let you know that by the grace of God, we have achieved so much, and we have a lot of support from across board. The support is incredible. Now, both home and abroad, across religious divides, and I am so grateful. He mentioned some collaborations high-powered collaborations going on right now in Nigeria, overseas. For instance, I live overseas, and every day there are high-powered collaborations going on this struggle. Where we stand right now is we are looking forward to see more Yoruba people, anywhere you are, to come out, to step forward. Yorubas of high caliber and timber, as they say, Yorubas who have name everywhere. We've got them. We've got Yorubas everywhere. We are the cradle of civilization. Yes, we have people everywhere. So as far as cooperative efforts towards this self-determination is concerned, I think we are not doing badly at all. We can only do better. And we are grateful to all our fathers, imams, pastors, some organizations, Islamic organizations, Christian organizations, religious bodies, non-governmental organizations who are rising up. We are grateful to different self-determination bodies who are working assiduously, some of them giving money, some giving time, some volunteering, legal, instruments, and some different things that we are doing. We recognize all bodies and all efforts so far. And by the grace of God, we continue to collaborate together until we achieve this goal of an autonomous, self-existing, self-governing, self-propagating, self-determined Yoruba nation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
Yes.
I was just going to hint you and let you not forget that we've been talking a lot also about the civil society and their contribution to what's going on. It is true the political parties have not, they are not shifting grounds yet. Let me say yet. They're still maintaining, we are, elections and what have you. But I think the lawyers are beginning to shift some ground. I mean, beginning to show some level of participation. What we've seen this week, particularly in the courts, what have you, it doesn't matter whether the lawyers are paid or they volunteered. I really do not care. But I listened to some of the press conferences, and you can be sure that within those people who are representing the various people who have been brought to court or fighting to even get them to court, because it's a fight to even get them to court. These are excellent minds who are actually committed to this, to the issue of justice for everybody and for the common man. So it's not that we are just bashing everybody. There is gratitude all around. They expect, and that's the kind of, I just want you to, recognize them as well before we move on. That, we've seen some action from our legal practitioners, although the Nigerian Bar Association is yet to come out and is yet to bring Malami to book or prove that he can be brought to book, because whether we like it or not, genocide is still happening in the southeastern region as we speak, and other areas of the country. But let me allow you to speak before we go too far.
Thank you very much. Philosophers, great philosophers of the world in time have said that there is nothing that one can do against the truth but for the truth. Now we can be grateful that the judiciary arms of Nigeria have stepped forward to do the right thing. Now, they could not have done otherwise, because the people expect the truth, and truth always prevails. People expect the judicial arm of government to do the right thing always, to stand for justice, to stand for equity, to stand for the voice of the law of rights, to uphold the integrity and the culture of the rule of law. And that is what has happened. That's what has prevailed in Nigeria. So we are grateful, not thankful to individuals, so to say. Of course, we can be thankful to them for doing the right thing. But I think until we get to that level in which things just happen naturally, things should take its natural course. Justice should take its natural course. Personally, I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful that they have done the right thing, especially, right now, I am happy. I'm so excited today. It's a forward-looking hope that things are happening the way we expect it to. Right now, we are confident that Chief Sunday Igboho is no longer going to be terrorized by the terrorist government. Is no longer going to be, charged and, waylaid. The court has already ordered and restricted any further harassment of this gentleman. They should not harass him. He has freedom. And of course, he's been also assured freedom in Niger Republic. And so we can be is it Niger Republic?
It's Benin
Republic. Sorry, excuse me. I beg your pardon,
that
gentlemen.
That will have been news on me.
Don't worry. Please, just pardon my slip of the tongue there, right there. Is Benin Republic. And we are grateful that justice, they said, what was said by the famous Martin Luther King Jr., in his letter from Birmingham jail, when he was addressing a group of pastors that were challenging him why he was not minding his business, that it was his fault, that he was arrested. And he told them that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So if the Nigerian judicial system fails to uphold justice, it's a threat to justice everywhere in the world. So the United Nations are watching. The committees of nations are watching. The global community are watching. And they are being held up to the standard, and they must not do otherwise. So we are grateful for the release of the 12 detainees, illegal detainees, because we are convinced that they are illegally held against their wishes. And up to now, no just cause have been brought against them. So, and we are grateful that justice is prevailing in Nigeria, and it will prevail to the extent that people can have their freedom of speech. It will prevail to the extent that people can have freedom of movement, freedom of religion, freedom of association, and so on and so forth. And it will prevail to the extent that illegal constitution imposed against the people will be rendered null and void and invalid.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Before we actually move on, because when we talk of constitution, in fact, we'll be talking about it next, because we'll be talking about the force majeure and what it means and what we should be doing about it now towards, towards suspending these elections and the rest of it. But before we go into that, I just want to point out remind us of one point Apostle Adebayo made here last week, which drives most of the reason why I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that the Imam of Ilorin, for his speech before the Oni, made it clear that Muslims in the South believe in the religion, the Islamic religion as practiced in Saudi Arabia. I took that note. I took that point in among his statement that it cannot be just Islam because of Islam. That is that Southern Muslims don't kill people or murder people just because they are Muslims or they are not Muslims. He made that point very, very clear. He made that point very, very clear that look, we are peaceful people, we are forward moving, and we want our own Yoruba nation now. So, and the Oni responded, quite in very, very strong and similar terms, which makes the point to this that it's not a religious matter anymore. It is not a cultural matter anymore. And those who are worried about the role of the Obas, they are it's very clear now. Even the Sultan of Sokoto is already, claiming that he's worried with the Nigerian situation right now. And, it points you to something that the Yoruba people might look docile, but they are very sophisticated and they take their time. They take their time to, to attend to issues. The campaign, which is, what is going to take us next, the campaign of Sunday Igboho, it's about creating an awareness. Chief Sunday Agdeyemo, thank you. It's about creating an awareness. All he did was come out when we were all not sure of what's going on. Who are these people carrying restructuring and not carrying restructuring for, against, and stuff like that? What does it all mean? Well, he came out, and everybody started listening. And, even with the arrest of Kano, with the arrest of, with the calming down of the waters with, testing Chief Sunday Igboho, the campaign is just amplifying. It's getting amplified. I was just watching a video this morning of somebody in Lagos State claiming is whether you like it or not, is coming to Alausa to do his own rally. So and that's a new name we've not even heard from. So like Chief Sunday said, things are going on and they are going on. There's nothing you can do to stop the campaign. You want to make any contribution right quickly, sir?
Well, let me just make a quick remark on the Islamic fundamentalism or radicalism that we have seen in recent time. Yeah, I will agree also with the chief imam that spoke. I will very much agree with him. If it is not true, definitely our Muslim friends needs to do something about it. Majority of us in the South, we have lived in harmonious family relationship within the religious divides. People have been able to live amicably together. But I want to put it out through this program today that the responsibility lay upon the soldiers of every stakeholders to make sure that they speak out loud, just like the chief imam from Ilorin have said, that this is not what Muslims represent. Muslims do not agree to this kind of things, that they don't represent them. So it's not about Islamic religion, it's about self-conceited individuals who are ready to tarnish the name of Islam and bring sentiment. They thought that by using religion, because, religion, as they say, is the opium of the people. So they thought that people through that sentiment will be able to give their solidarity to whatever they are doing. So, but I challenge all our Muslim clerics, all our Islamic leaders to speak out, to renounce and denounce, so that we can all debase the efforts of these evil perpetrators against our nation, against us, against all the other ethnic groups, especially the non-Muslims that are suffering from the attacks of these terrorists within our boundaries.
Thank you, sir. Well, hold it there. We'll be back in a minute to break down more of the issues concerning the way forward.
Hi. Meet Dr. Noah Omoluabi, or Pastor Noah as you may prefer, depending on the business setting. He is ably qualified to talk about igniting the fire of leadership in young people for the purpose of creating their own legacy. He is the thought leader behind the concept of culture psychology for acquiring the office of the chief executive. No professor teaches anyone how to make friends. As your new hire walks out of the college gate into the corporate space, the innate forces are ignited for an ambitious career based on cultured leadership skills and a sound understanding of how to build profitable workplace networks. He may be engaged with chief executives, trying to convince them about necessary changes to be included in their leadership programs. He coaches senior executives, holds small group seminars and webinars, as well as facilitate large workshops. Noah is schooled in organizational management. His international exposure in many roles gave him the opportunity to live and observe the many theories of leadership development in businesses and to coach many young people, igniting their ambitions to hop along the career leadership pathway into
to bear God-pleasing fruits. And that's the point of the Holy Ghost baptism. Understanding the point of the Holy Ghost itself, is an endowment for
Grab Noah now to energize your Generation Z for impactful business career visions and Holy Ghost-inspired church growth.
Hello and welcome back. Yes, like I said, we are going to discuss a lot of business today. This afternoon, next, we're actually going to try to understand the legal Nigeria environment. There is a contention out there that by August the 16th, Nigeria will cease to exist as a legal entity. If we are following, the provisions of the Force Majeure. So unless Buhari responds to the petition, for the Force Majeure, which they continue to ignore as far as I'm concerned, and we're going to get some education on that right now. By August the 16th, Nigeria becomes an illegal entity. Would you say this is fair assessment, or before we move, create other confusion?
Yeah, well, of course, you are not far from truth. You see, the issue with Nigeria is only that we have a lopsided, situation at hand, because Nigeria seems to be a country in which the people don't have the power. Meanwhile, it is the people. The people, are the reciprocatory, the owner of the power. They hold the autonomy of power. The people has the power, and the people feel, the great majority of Nigerians feel that the Constitution as amended of 1999 is a fraud against them, because it was not agreed to by anybody. It's a document of law imposed upon the people. And so the issue of the force majeure is that when members of the union, when they discover that a constitutional instrument is not upheld the content of a constitutional instrument is not agreed to, and the situation of governance or government is not in keeping with the dictates of the law, and a group of the union or a member of the union is at a loss or has been sabotaged, and contract has been breached, federalization or federalism has been, breached or abrogated or maybe sabotaged, a member of the union has right to challenge, number one, the constitutional instrument that is being operated. Number two, they have the right to pull out of the union. They have the freedom. So as long as, according to the United Nations, there is this law of the United Nations that empowers the masses, the Nigerian masses, the Malian masses, the Cuban masses, the American masses, to apply what is called force majeure. And in this case, a constitutional force majeure. So this instrument of law, United Nations instrument of law, has been deployed. And Nigerian federal government has been so served with this notice and giving a 120 days to respond to this, which they have failed. And the Nigerian Alliance for Indigenous Nationalities have also extended an opportunity for the government led by Muhammadu Buhari to respond. So as long as they have failed to respond, the same organization, the same group of people, Nigerian masses, Nigerian population, have rights to appeal to the United Nations to come and, you were asking, I'm already passing the boundary of my question, though, anyway. But what the concern of the question you asked me is whether this is realizable or not. I would say yes. Whether the people have right to make those claims or not, I would say yes, because the people have the power. The people are the boss. The parliament, the people's parliament, is the most important, most powerful parliament all over the world. They brought those who rule to power, and they have insisted that they are tired of the operation of an instrument of falsity, an instrument operated in falsehood and manipulation.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that enlightenment on the force majeure. But I have another pertinent question from there. Because, well, we may call it pseudo-illegality or illegality or whatever when the force majeure, takes effect. I mean, the legality of the force majeure takes effect if Nigeria doesn't respond, by August the 15th. It then creates a question and a problem. At the beginning of the program, we looked at the electoral map and the plan for the 2023 elections, and we began to ask questions, especially last week, and we will ask more questions about that. But it's becoming obvious that Nigeria is slipping to illegality. Come August 16, from general understanding, we are slipping into the illegality. And it is very pertinent to note that INEC, when they were announcing the program plan for the elections, said the Anambra state election that is coming up in November 2021 as part of the program for the 2023 elections is a test of its legality of the elections. Where does that place Nigerians, the people on the streets? Anambra state is in Biafra. Is Mayor Allah not stoking something in there? That's the question as I got it.
Well, far as the federal government is concerned, they have right to everywhere within the boundary of Nigeria, far as they are concerned. So they just want to continue to perpetuate their own plan, to execute their own government, to carry out their own mandate, so to say. But far as Nigerians are concerned, anywhere within the boundary of the country, Nigerians also have the right to insist on their right. This is democracy. We are not under the rule of despots. We are not under the rule of military who will usurp power and lord it over the people. So what I would say is that I will leave that to those within that jurisdiction to determine their right and uphold it. They must determine their right and uphold it. I am not their legal counsel. I will not be their legal counsel, but the thing is, it is time for every part of Nigeria to uphold whatever is their right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, well, okay, how about this issue of legality of the Anambra state elections in November 2021? You know, maybe you don't understand my question is like, is the government itself doubting that, you know, they want to test the legality of the elections in Anambra state? Anambra state is in
I understand. I understand your question.
Is in Biafra territory.
Yeah, I actually understand your question. And what I said the other time, I said it deliberately because, of course, you are right that the federal government, they are not confident. They are no longer confident. When you are operating, I'm a Yoruba man, and there is an aphorism in Yoruba language that says, that means you are only confident as far as your hands are clean. Yeah. You are confident to come boldly. You know, the federal government cannot be any more confident than they are right now. So what they are doing, whatever they are doing now, they are trying to test whether the acceptability of their claim that Nigeria can continue the way it is. They are trying to test the water. But I tell you, now, if you want to test the water, don't jump into the ocean. If you do, you will drown. So it's a voice of wisdom to the government of Nigeria. Listen to the people. Listen to the electorate. They brought you to that power. As a matter of fact, we should stop talking about power. We should start talking about responsibility. But unfortunately, Nigerian politicians see their elective offices as power, which is unfortunate. You listen to the Prime Minister of England talking a couple of weeks back, saying that he's a servant of the people. Whereas one leader of Africa said, no, I'm not a servant of the people. I am your boss. I am your boss. So it is unfortunate that Africans, especially our leaders, still behave barbaric. They're trying to take us back to the Stone Age. And what betide us if we fail to stand up for our right? Nobody will give it except we demand our right. That we are no longer in the Stone Age. We have the right to uphold whatever we believe in is our right by the rule of law. This is democracy. These are the days in which everybody within the boundary of the so-called Federation or Republic of Nigeria stand to challenge the malpractice, the evil perpetrated against the Nigerian public, that in a democracy we don't have freedom of speech, that in a democracy people who are killing people, who are even making public videos and making public declarations that we did it, they are not being called terrorists, they are being called bandits by our government. It is unfortunate. Now, beyond that, we even have videos and photos of northern elected politicians taking photographs with terrorists and displaying ammunitions and rifles, and the federal government is quiet about that, whereas they are going after innocent, sincere citizens agitating for change and harassing them and arraigning them before federal court and claiming that they are the terrorists. So all these things are why the government of Muhammadu Buhari lost confidence in itself. That is why they are afraid that they may fail. That is why they are trying to test the water. And I tell you, I assure you, only truth can withstand the test of this moment.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. There's another issue before we leave this electoral.
I hope I satisfy your question.
Well, yes. There's another issue before we leave this issue of elections and the plan and the preparation for it. On that map, if you look carefully, and I keep on emphasizing, look at Osun State, 67,000. Newly registered young people who were involved in NSAS protest, newly registered faces, 67,000. Don't forget that Ogbeni Rauf is from that state. He's our internal affairs minister, right? If I'm correct. And Lagos State, those are the two places, and we know who is in Lagos State. Even Osun State is proving to be, more populous than Lagos State. Then when you look at the other places like Anambra, Abia, and stuff like that, and when you now put that with what's going on, the call for suspend or call for referendum. Are the Yoruba people confused, or are the political parties confusing the people? Who is confused?
Don't let's be fooled by the data put out by anybody palling with the illegal or illegally run government of Muhammadu Buhari. Let me let you know that. For instance, Kebbi and Yobe. Take Kebbi and Yobe, for instance. The last population census of Nigeria positioned some of these northern states as being larger in population than Osun State, for instance. And you see, if you look at Kebbi, only 624 have registered in Kebbi. So they have been divisive, and 899 are the only registered voters in Yobe.
Political parties are not saying anything about this.
Of course, he who pays the piper dictates the tone, of course. Some of them are trying to protect their daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses. We should not lose sight of the fact that politicians are trying to protect their daily bread. Of course, that is a question of security.
I hope the people themselves are not confused, because when they put numbers like this up and nobody is saying nothing, then it becomes a little bit worrying. I mean, I still cannot get it off my mind when the president of a country says he's got to revenge the NSAS coup attempt against him. And this is going to kill all the ideas or the concepts that the youth may be having about coming into politics. Like I said in the first program, there was local government elections in Lagos, and 88 of the political parties for the young people, 88 of those young people trying to register for elections were, cancelled by INEC. INEC just robbed them off, and nobody says anything. So this is the kind of thing I'm trying to point ourselves at, that what's going on. And this is where I say is a Mieti ala calculus that we need to be very, very wary and careful about.
The long and short of this is
1 minute.
divisive politicking.
Yes,
that's what is going on.
Okay.
This cultural center is definitely a breach that is going to allow everyone, because I don't want to say both cultures, because we are one. Yeah. We just have been separated through time and space, but now we are bringing back ourselves. We are being called. It's like the return, This is the return, the reckoning, So African Americans and Africans together, coming together on this Yoruba Center platform is what we need at this time. And this organization offers 9 solid programs. We offer the language school, we offer the Arts and Heritage Museum, we offer the theater, talking drum and dance program, we offer the youth scholarship that provides scholarship to college students who are leaving high school, who have gained admission. We have the community program for families. We have the health and wellness program. all of these programs, we have the youth program. I don't want to forget that, because the youth are the future. You and I, we are the youth. So if there's anyone out there who falls in the demographic of young parents who have young children like we do, we need you to come join us, Africans and African Americans alike. Let us build a strong youth movement that has its foundation on something that we can actually we can actually count on, which is our culture and our heritage. So we invite you to come to the Yoruba Cultural Center. Of course, book a tour to come to the museum.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. I mean, if you got a call, you can call in right now. So welcome back. We are continuing our discussion on the race to suspending the Nigeria 2023 election. Something big is coming up in September, like it or not. Something big is coming up. NINAS will be, Professor Akintoye and the group, on behalf of NINAS, will be addressing the United Nations in September. And, it's important that when he's showing up there, he has proof of your solid backing behind him. Because it's also important to recognize that, we all know that we can do this alone. It's not just a matter of protesting at home. There is work for people in the diaspora to do, and they are doing. It's very important, and we encourage you all to continue to participate and in the setup of the program. Well, question then is, as Professor Akintoye and his group prepares for the UN, the appearance at the 76th General Assembly of the UN, what should Nigerians be doing, both those in the diaspora and those at home?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Nigerians at home and abroad have got a responsibility. It's not enough for us to sit aloof and think that force majeure may be trusted as everything, that force majeure is not alpha and omega. We have got to do something. For instance, there is a petition going on right now, because except all the people, except the force majeure, the deployment of the force majeure actually becomes the voice of the people. We need numbers. These are gain of numbers, because there is a population. We have a data, a world-known data for Nigerians. Now, among the ethnic nationalities that are asking for the force majeure, we need to achieve an X. I don't determine that. I don't know it, but you know the population of Nigeria. Before you can have a pass mark in an exam, if the cap for pass is at least 70 or 75, and you want to pass, don't stop at 69. If the cap is 80, don't stop at 79. So we have got to play our part in order to make sure that the dream, to make sure that Nigeria as a nation realizes that the people have got the power and we have a right to the kind of nation that we want, and we have right to belong to the union that we so desire. Go ahead into NINA's website. Go ahead to NINA's website and make sure that you sign that petition. Go to www.ninas.org and go and sign the petition. We need the numbers. Don't just sit on your oars and think, okay, yeah, we had that some people have deployed the instrument called force majeure, and you are counting dates waiting for September to come. No, that is not so fast. It's not like that. You've got to play your part. And regardless of your ethnic nationality, regardless of which nationality you belong to, be you an Igbo man or Yoruba, Efik, Ibiobio, Hausa, Fulfude, Fulani, whatever you are, we are calling on all ethnic member to go ahead and sign the force majeure. I mean, the petition. It is that petition that those who are going to help us, the United Nations needs to see that great majority of Nigerians are already asking for this. Then there will be an agreement and an election will be conducted, not by us, not by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not by the government of Muhammadu Buhari, but the United Nations, seeing our determination, seeing how populous this is among us, seeing how resolved we are about this. They will come and will help us and conduct. You know what happened during the British force majeure? There has been two major force majeure in the United Kingdom right now. There is one between England and Wales, and there is another one between Scotland and Wales. And this force majeure was presented in the normal way, and elections were conducted. Ours cannot or should not be different. We are also members of the United Nations. We are citizens of the world, and we have our rights. Thank you, Mr. Omolawabi.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Going on, I begin to wonder, if things continue this way, and it's going to happen that the various nationalities will emerge, in spite of the concerns of the minorities. We have minority tribes who are extremely concerned. We may be taking their situation up next week. But the point is, when the new nations, when they emerge, how will our politicians who are still being begged, because at this point in time they have a chance to change their mind. I heard today that General Obasanjo agreed to go and, intervene on behalf. Retired General Obasanjo. Okay. Agreed to go and intervene on behalf of Sunday Igboho, finally. And I say finally. But at least, if it is true, he made a move. He decided.
It is better late than never.
It is better late than never. What chances, what will people who are actively opposing the self-determination agenda, how do you think they will feel when these nations will come? Because it's very clear now that these things will have, it will have to happen.
Of course, my response to former President Olusegun Obasanjo's late involvement is better late than never, so they say. And I will also appeal to those politicians who are still believing that whatever they believe, I think it is better late than never. I will not think it is constructive or productive for any member of our indigenous nationality to think that because it has taken them so long to join the move, we should throw the water with the baby with the bath water. I will just say that we should be patient. Time will tell. Some people will still come ahead and join this move. We need them. They should come. If you repent overnight, please come and join us. If you are still thinking of repenting, repent quickly and come over and join us. We need them. We need all the forces. We need everybody. We will not leave any of our people behind. Yorubas believe in akile omo buruku fun ekun pa, and ọmọ ẹni kì í ṣèdí bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ ká mú iyùn ká fi sí di ọmọ ẹlòmíì. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ wípé pé ara ẹni mi ò jẹ́ ni, èèyàn mi ò jẹ́ èèyàn, kì í ṣe ká fi wé aláró lásán. So all these aphorisms of our fathers remain valid. We will not throw you away with the bad water. We will accept our people. Our politicians, you must understand, they are trying to defend their career. They are trying to protect their belly. Some of them know for sure that Nigeria has not been what it's supposed to be. But of course, they are in the corridor of power and they enjoy so much popularity and so much power right now. And they have money coming in for them. So they don't want to lose. Of course, some of them are still doubting Thomas. Yeah. They are still, doubting. Some of them are not doubting, but they are in denial. So whatever the level they are right now, they can still, come on board.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
let's
sir.
fight this
I was
battle
just
together.
the moment you mentioned money, something it just struck my mind. That we are, when this struggle started, we made it very clear, and we know that we are very resourceful people. Whether you are talking, in any racial setup of Nigeria, we are very tough and smart people and very resourceful people. We started the program talking about money coming into the campaign a lot during this week. But resources is not just money. I know many people are, standing in the gap trying to find out what to do, and how to even get involved in the campaign and in the system. How is the campaign management? How is it going on? Where can people approach for, for support? I mean, if they want to participate, how can they, whichever part of the country, and particularly the Yoruba people, anyway?
Anyway, everywhere. I would just say everywhere. The global village has made things. The communication explosion of this generation has made it so easy for you to be a part of anything. You can be a part. You can even be a voice of your own. Your agitation can even be louder, like what Omoluabi is doing right now. That's one of it. You can stage to your social media, your Facebook, just make sure whatever you are doing is not infodemic. We have pandemic going on. We have enough trouble with pandemic right now. Don't make it an infodemic, because if you are not sure of a correct information and you are disseminating it, that can be an infodemic. So just join the alliance, join the struggle, join the campaign. Let your voice be heard through Facebook, through WhatsApp, through Twitter. Of course, Twitter has been sabotaged by the government in Nigeria. But you have the right to use social media. Go ahead and use social media. There are bodies and groups that have been recognized also. If you are a media practitioner, for instance, you are a broadcaster, go ahead and join the Yoruba Nation media presenters. You can look for them and join them. Their broadcast is all over. You will find their number all over the internet. Come on, get on and be a part. There is the Ilana Omo Odua. There is the Afenifere. There is the Yoruba Nation Global Directorate. There are other bodies too that are working assiduously to make sure that this effort of self-determination is achieved. If you can't join the Yoruba Nation Global Directorate, go ahead and join Ilana Omo Odua. If you cannot, join Afenifere, there are a lot of that. And if you are a Muslim, if you don't want to join any, or you are a Christian, you don't want to join any, maybe you are still in doubt, go ahead and use your religious platform. We've got the people. As a Christian, as a pastor, as a minister, you have the responsibility to speak through your pulpit. Isaiah, Daniel, Jeremiah were prophets of God, but they spoke on behalf of God and their nation. They spoke against indiscipline in their time. They spoke against injustice in their government. They spoke against, even beyond their government, they spoke against Assyria. They spoke against Persia, Medes, and Babylon. They spoke against Babylon. They spoke against Rome. They spoke against all kinds of countries far beyond their boundary. And of course, Martin Luther King Jr. that I mentioned the other time, when they said, why did you leave Georgia? Why were you arrested where you were arrested? He said, just a threat, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So use whatever medium God has given to you to join this conversation. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Simon, Reverend Simon, both of them.
Or Reverend Dr.
Reverend Dr. Simon. They are all correct.
Anyhow.
Thank you, my participants, everybody from everywhere that have been coming in with your questions. I wish we could have taken those calls, but they were just technical challenges there. Let's put it there. Once again, keep it here. Share this broadcast. We're going to be continuing on in a major way next week. But the agenda is, the move right now is to do what you can to suspend the 2023 elections. And it starts from, getting your people to register for the referendum. Create your own poster in your street. Create your own flyer in your church. Do something in your mosque, and let it happen. Once again, I'm Noah Omoluabi from Dallas, Texas, studios of Distinct Radio. Thank you.
Nigeria has become a union of death for the rest of us. The global powers have told Nigeria in very clear terms that guns should be kept out of the table of discussion, and a dialogue opened up with the owners of the sovereignty, with the people. Time is now to go discuss with the owners of the sovereignty that is now called Nigeria, and to work out constitutions that will work.